Ironheart just dropped on Disney Plus, and it's already being called the worst MCU series yet. After Wakanda Forever, people were excited to see Riri Williams shine, but instead of a genius hero, we get a reckless, selfish version of her character with zero moral compass. The story's a mess. She gets kicked out of MIT, joins a gang for money, and somehow, nobody questions her shady behavior. The villain? A magic-wielding guy in a red hoodie who bends bullets, but still needs backup for no reason. The action scenes? Flat and full of bad CGI. Even the big AI twist, something that could have been deep and emotional, is rushed and poorly written. It's not the diverse cast that's the problem. It's the weak plot, sloppy pacing, and empty characters. This one might actually be worse than Secret Invasion, and that says a lot.
They decided to center an entire promo video on these two characters.
Well, your dream is to be able to do this stuff, you know, knock some big guys out and like walk away and be like,
I do kind of want to stop and talk about this for a second. So if you got all this surgery, you take all these hormones to identify as masculine, not a man apparently because you're non-binary, whatever the fuck you want to call this. Is it really that like impressive then if you identify as a man to be beating up other men? I don't know how that works.
With Ironheart already being branded as a total flop, things are spiraling fast for Marvel Studios and Disney. Executives like Bob Iger, Kevin Feige, and even Dominique Thorne are scrambling to clean up the mess. But nothing they've done has worked so far. Things have gotten so bad that even Robert Downey Jr. is now caught in the middle of this chaos. Bob Iger and Kevin Feige are knee-deep in behind-the-scenes drama, trying to manage the fallout while keeping their big-name talent from jumping ship. But the damage, it's already out there. Now fans are asking a serious question. Is the Ironheart backlash about to ruin Fantastic Four 2? That movie's already under a microscope, and with all this noise surrounding Ironheart, confidence is dropping fast. This might not be the final nail in the coffin for Marvel's Disney Plus shows, but it's definitely hammering in another one. People are checking out, losing interest fast, just like what happened with Star Wars after all that overhyped content. Now let's talk about the real drama. Robert Downey Jr., Bob Iger, and Kevin Feige are stuck in a messy situation right in the middle of this ratings disaster. And here's the wild part. Marvel allegedly struck a deal with RDJ to do press tours just to hype up Riri Williams, the character played by Dominique Thorne. Yep, they reportedly roped him into appearing on several talk shows, many of them with direct Disney ties, all to make Ironheart look like a hit. This wasn't just a friendly favor. Behind the scenes, word is RDJ felt cornered into it. People close to the matter say he was told to help push the show's image during its rollout, even though he had no real connection to the project. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's even more drama brewing between these top execs and Marvel's golden boy, Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is swamped right now. He's locked in with Avengers, Doomsday, and juggling other big projects, but behind the scenes, he's seriously losing patience. The ongoing Ironheart mess is just making things worse, stirring up more panic inside Marvel and Disney. People are freaking out, wondering if this mess is gonna spill over and wreck Fantastic Four next. But here's where the drama really heats up. There's a major situation blowing up around RDJ himself. Word is, Robert Downey Jr. is furious with both Disney and Marvel, and he's not happy with some of the fans either. According to insiders, Bob Iger and Kevin Feige recently held a private emergency call with RDJ, where they tried to push him into doing something big and controversial. They reportedly asked him to release a public statement defending Riri Williams and calling out fans for what they labeled as sexism, misogyny, and anti-DEI attitudes tied to the Ironheart backlash. But RDJ, he didn't hold back. He allegedly snapped on both Bob and Kevin during the call, telling them flat out that turning him into a spokesperson for this controversy would destroy his public image and possibly cost him fans. He made it crystal clear he's not interested in being the face of a political fight tied to a show he had little to do with. But Bob and Kevin weren't backing down. They told him straight up that promoting Ironheart and speaking on these topics is part of the massive deal he signed for his MCU return in Avengers. Doomsday! Now, RDJ is pushing back hard. He reportedly told them he'll only consider making statements if they completely steer clear of any hot-button debates around DEI or social issues. But Bob and Kevin, they shot that down. They're allegedly insisting that he speak out exactly the way they want, aiming his message right at Marvel fans who are rejecting the Riri Williams character. It's turning into a real power struggle, and RDJ might not go down without a fight. Now, Robert Downey Jr. is really fed up with Marvel and Disney. After they pushed him into doing PR and joining the Ironheart press tour, because his contract for Avengers Doomsday apparently required it, he's had enough. Disney had hyped him up, saying his involvement would make Ironheart a massive hit. But those promises completely flopped. And RDJ, he's heated. The man's been clashing hard with both Bob Iger and Kevin Feige behind closed doors. Sources say Bob and Kevin are growing tired of RDJ's pushback. They're frustrated with his attitude, while this Ironheart disaster is blowing up in their faces. But can you really blame him? From the jump, his appearances on those talk shows, trying to boost Riri Williams, felt totally forced. It came off like a corporate move, not something real from RDJ himself. Fans noticed too. It just didn't land right. And here's the kicker. There's more drama behind the press tour that's making RDJ even madder. He's reportedly upset with how Disney handled the entire thing. They made it seem like he was fully backing this series when in reality he was just playing along because of a clause in his contract. And now that the first 3 episodes dropped and got slammed by fans, the pressure is only building. Marvel fans are not vibing with this series at all. Based on the leaks and fan reactions, episodes 4 through 6 aren't likely to fix anything either. And get this, yes, this is your spoiler alert. Mephisto actually shows up in the final episodes played by Sacha Baron Cohen. People are losing it over that. Why would Marvel waste a major villain reveal like this on Ironheart of all shows, is what fans are asking. But the drama doesn't stop there. Now, Disney's reportedly pressuring RDJ again to get back out there and hype the show, even telling him to say it's a huge success. But RDJ isn't having it. He told them straight up, he's not about to lie to his fan base just to save face for a show that's clearly not landing, especially not with Doomsday right around the corner. Avengers, Doomsday is dropping in May 2026. But before that, Robert Downey Jr. is locked in a war of nerves with Marvel and Disney. Kevin Feige and Bob Iger still aren't giving up. They're now scrambling to cut some sort of deal, even tossing extra cash on the table, just to get RDJ deeper into the Ironheart press tour and the damage control circus surrounding it. But their desperation is only making things worse. It's causing major tension between RDJ and the top brass at Marvel and Disney. Here's the thing, Disney promised him that if he helped promote the show, Ironheart would be a ratings hit. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The show bombed hard, and now RDJ feels completely played. He's frustrated, annoyed, and sick of being the one holding the bag for a show that never had solid ground to stand on. And let's be real, the press tour itself, it's been a total disaster. Fans aren't buying it. One of the biggest mistakes was the attempt to paint Riri Williams as better than Tony Stark, like she was the next-gen Iron Man, completely replacing him. That move blew up fast. People weren't ready for Marvel to just toss Tony aside like that, and trying to force that comparison made things even worse. Now, this doesn't mean RDJ is anti-Riri or against Ironheart as a concept. What's really eating at him is how Marvel and Disney broke their word. He was told his involvement would boost the show and make it a hit. Instead, everything backfired, badly. His appearances on talk shows were supposed to uplift Dominique Thorne and show support, but instead, fans saw right through it. It felt fake, and RDJ knows it. Behind the scenes, he feels like he got straight up played by the Disney machine. And honestly, it's raising questions about how these studios operate. Looking back at 2022, you have to wonder, did something similar happen with Ewan McGregor during the Kenobi series? He was also pulled into the spotlight, pushed to speak out against fans and talk about sexism and misogyny in the fandom. Just like RDJ, maybe he was handed a script and expected to play along. It's a pattern, and RDJ's not staying quiet anymore. Now here's where things start getting really messy. Behind closed doors, Marvel execs are now reportedly threatening to freeze parts of Robert Downey Jr.'s Avengers Doomsday deal if he doesn't play ball with the Ironheart narrative. That's right. They're putting serious pressure on him to publicly praise the show, prop up Dominique Thorne again, and unite the fandom. Even though RDJ wants no part of that fake PR spin. Sources say Bob Iger is especially pushing for a new media rollout featuring RDJ making positive, unifying statements to cool down the outrage surrounding Ironheart. But from RDJ's camp, the word is loud and clear. He's not down to be anyone's corporate puppet. He's told Marvel leadership that dragging him into this mess could risk alienating his core fan base, especially with Doomsday coming up, where his image really matters. And here's something wild. Marvel is even considering shifting parts of their Doomsday marketing strategy just to punish RDJ for resisting. Insiders claim that scenes involving Tony Stark could be downplayed or delayed in trailers if Downey keeps pushing back. That move would be risky though, because let's be honest, RDJ is the hype. Without him, that film might not get the same buzz. Meanwhile, fans online are catching on to all this behind-the-scenes tension. People are posting clips from RDJ's awkward interviews, saying he looks uncomfortable and clearly not into the whole Ironheart hype. Comments are flooding in, like, why does it look like he's being forced to say this? And this ain't Tony, this is a hostage. It's a bad look for Disney, and it's only getting worse. Instead of addressing the real concerns fans have about the writing, direction, and tone of Ironheart, Marvel's leadership is more focused on using RDJ as a distraction tactic, but that plan's already backfiring. People aren't buying it anymore. And with all this heat building up, it's looking like the Marvel machine is about to hit a major breakdown, unless someone steps in and pulls the plug on this whole strategy before it blows up even bigger. Now, whether Ewan McGregor truly believed what he said during the Kenobi backlash, or was just following orders from Disney and Lucasfilm, is still up for debate. But that same question is now hanging heavy over Robert Downey Jr.'s situation. Is he speaking from the heart or being pushed by corporate hands? That's the real conversation happening now. And speaking of RDJ, the biggest twist in this entire saga might be his upcoming role in Avengers. Doomsday, as none other than Dr. Doom. Yeah, it's a bold move, and fans are completely split over it. Some are hyped to see RDJ in a fresh, darker role, but others, they think Marvel's just pulling a desperation move, recycling their biggest star instead of trusting someone new. There's even talk that someone like Cillian Murphy would have been a more original pick to play Doom. People are saying, why not go with fresh energy instead of bringing back the guy we all know as Tony Stark? It's a fair question. Can audiences even separate RDJ from Iron Man enough to accept him as Marvel's ultimate villain? The casting choice is already sparking heated debates across the fandom. And all this chaos with Ironheart is only fueling more doubts. Some fans now believe Marvel's just leaning on RDJ because they're running out of ideas, and that's not sitting right with loyal viewers who've stuck with the MCU for over a decade. Whatever happens next, one thing's for sure. If RDJ does go through with these bold statements Marvel wants, it could completely shift the public narrative, or it could backfire even harder. All eyes are on him now. So what do you think about this whole RDJ mess with Disney and Marvel? Is it fair? Is it forced? Are they overplaying their hand? This saga's far from over, and the next move could change everything. That's a wrap for now, but the chaos is just getting started. If you're ready for even more wild drama, messy tension, and behind-the-scenes shakeups, don't miss the next video on your screen. It's even juicier than this one. You won't want to miss it.